0.14. So if it's got a height and a width of 0.14, it is a circle, right? Okay, so there's my circle. Now my box, I'm going to go over. I'm going to go over here to this box, and I'm going to change its. You see, it's a little bit repetitive, guys. Sorry about that, but it's just the way it is. 0.5, and I'm going to have the height, and I'm going to make it 0.125. Now, does anybody know why we're using 0.125? Because we're using 1/8 inch masonite. That's our material. So masonite, an 1/8 inch. And now here comes the other thing. Just because you went to Handy Dan and you bought 1/8 inch masonite doesn't mean it really is 1/8 inch. Because it depends where it came from. If it came from the United States, yeah, it'll be 1/8 inch. If it came from South America or China, it'll be 3 millimeters. All right, so you've got to know.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah, you got to know what you got. You know?
And also, when the laser beam cuts to the cut width or the kerf is not going to be like 0. It's going to be, you know, some.
Yeah. There is a curve, okay, and you say, well, Doug, you're ignoring kerf tolerances. And the reason for that is because what I found is that it is so narrow with the laser cutter that I was meant to leave one of those pieces unscrewed so that you could actually you can feel the tightness of the fit. Basically, it doesn't need any screws to pass around.
No filing required.
Yeah, you don't need any screws. I mean, it's a pretty tight friction cut. You know, and that really simplifies things too, because usually if you're doing this on a CNC router, you do have to take all that into account. All right, so I'm going to next do a copy paste. So I actually do a Control-C, Control-V. That's just the way I do it. Okay, now I'm going to create a vertical guide. I pull it over. Okay, I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to set it at 4. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to create another guide, and I'm going to double click on it, and I'm going to set him at 5.64. Okay. Now, if you look at those dimensions that are on that sheet that's in the presentation, these numbers will make sense. Okay? All right? Now, I'm going to take one rectangle, and I'm going to snap the right edge to the 5.64. I'm going to snap the other one. Okay? Now, normally I wouldn't be this far off, but I'm just trying to show you that it's not something that you really have to worry about. Okay, I'm going to select both boxes. Anybody know what I'm going to do next? Yeah, I'm going to align them horizontally. Okay, I'm going to group them. Object, group. Okay. I'm going to select the circle. Now what am I going to do?
Yeah, put one.
Center.
How many objects did you join the other two? Yeah.
The others 2 are grouped.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with a vertical. Then I'm going to do a horizontal. You have to place anything, and I'm going to do an object group. Okay. Now I'm going to set the stroke color, so I hold the shift keys down. Oh, did I say that? Okay. If you're using the palette here, if I just click on, I'm going to just click on blue here. See? You change the fill, so when I on the palette. So I don't want that to be, so I'm going to hit the no color. But if I hit shift and play on the palette, I changed the stroke.
Thank you.
Okay, I didn't, okay, I don't know if I covered that. Okay, so now, I'm gonna move, I'm gonna hit Control and go down, and move this guy off the board. Okay, and, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these guys.
What are you hitting to do that?
Delete
Delete?
button.
Okay.
But I have to be on it. I have to be on it. Okay. All right.
Were you doing the right shift key? I mean, the right
Position-
button?
position, hovering the mouse.
Were you hovering the mouse?
Yeah, I
or-
hover the mouse and then just hit delete.
Okay.
And you didn't have to select.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, can you hand me that back? So, what we have now pretty much is this template and these little places here. Okay. We got a template for the T slot,
Yep.
and we got the template for the two Morrises
Sure.
and the hole, the screw hole.
Yeah.
So the next thing I'm going to do is create this little curve piece. Okay.
Okay.
All right. How's the time doing? Are we just running like crazily over time?
15 past.
You're right at almost 1 hour into your presentation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's okay, we just got food to go.
Okay. If it gets too long, guys, let me know.
We do have the show until, like we said, we're going till 9 2, so make sure we get time for that.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So to do the curve place, first thing we're gonna do is create a circle. Okay. And let's see. I'm gonna just move the bins and start with that in black. Okay. I'm gonna select it. Now. Okay. Okay, so in the circle part, up here I'm going to put, I'm going to go back to the circle. All right, I'm going to go up here, I have a start and an end. So I'm going to go 180. And I'm going to go to 270. And here's my quarter circle. Now I have three options here. One which would be make a shape of a hole, not arc or something. Or just make an unclosed shape, an arc. Or I can select as what we just got. Okay. So when I collect that, we got a quarter of a circle. Okay. We're going to okay, we're going to click up here. Now we can set this up here to 2.
And have height selected.
That's what you use the undo button for. Okay, we've got it sized. Okay, we're going to create a horizontal guide. We're going to snap this guy to that guide. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring this guy in. Well, actually, I'm not going to bring him in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a copy paste. So now I've got a copy of him. Okay. Okay, I'm going to flip them. Okay. Now, when you do that, when you hit a scale button by accident, you just undo it. And I'm going to blow this up so we can see it a little better. Okay, I selected him, and move him. What happens when you see how it snapped there?
No.
Okay. Now, I'm going to shift and select both objects. Do a vertical. So now it's in the middle. Now, at this point, I'm going to use another path command called difference. And now I have my T-slot. Now, normally I would, because we're running so long in time and I want to touch the other things, I'm going to show you how to make this joint, this one. I'm not going to do the whole part, okay? What you have in the presentation will allow you to do the whole part, okay? Now, the next thing I'm going to do,
You can always do more at the barbecue. I'm sure we'll listen there.
Okay, I'm going to bring a copy of this guy. Oops, okay, sorry. Oops, didn't mean for it to jump up like that. So this guy, I'm attaching him to the other side of the guideline. Alright, I'm going to do center on him. Well, excuse me, I have to select the bottom. Do the center. And it looks like I pretty well hit it. So now I'm going to ungroup this guy. Object, ungroup, deselect, select, delete. Everybody can see where we're going with this guy? And now we're going to hit this guy, shift this guy. Whoops. This was actually grouped twice. So I have to take this item and ungroup them again. Otherwise the two rectangulars were grouped and then the circle was grouped to the two rectangles. Alright, so select, 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 path union. Path union.
Sweet.
How many grid points did I use? How much fussing around did I use? Not very much, okay? And that's what you want to do to be efficient.
Plus your air tolerances are all good, the way you did that. They're
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah, and it's right.
Your space.
It's not me just kind
Because
of like getting close.
Yeah, because your holes now will line up with your
Stuff that's important.
tabs.
Yeah, so, okay, now, like I say, there's more to this one, but we're gonna move along.
Yep.
All right? Let me bring this guy down because I'm going to use this same workspace. And the next one, I'm having a little bit of trouble. The next one, so now, kind of pull this guy up, and we're going to, here's your script. Next one, this one's a real simple one. And we're just going to show how you do gears. Okay? Now, just for your information, Vex gears, so we're working with Vex robots. They have a 20-degree pressure item and a circular pitch of 11.8 pixels as set in this. Okay? Now,
So how did you determine those values?
Yeah, I did it a while back. and
Don't
I
they
can't-
have
I can't.
the files in SolidWorks format? Can't you grab it?
They
from
might,
that?
they might.
Yes, they have it in there open on the
Okay.
wiki.
Yeah, they might have it. That's not how I did it, but anyway. Oops. Okay, so here I'm going to pass around a couple of examples of gears. Now, if you have to hold, one of the problems with spur gears is they really have to be close for them to be a good fit. All right. Otherwise, it's easy to be off a little bit, and then you have a lot of slop. Okay. But I want you to look at this one to give you some ideas. This was made by taking the smaller gear and gluing it to the larger gear, and then using a small piece of dowel in the two holes that were in the design, and that will allow you to make a compound gear. So pass those around and take a look at it.
What's the shear value on the Just best way to do it.
Probably a lot more than the little tiny motors that I have struggling along on my robot.
By the way, we have a licensed copy of a program called Gearotic,
Yeah.
which is a very nice gear generating program. You can download it, a demo for free, but to output gears, you can use a licensed copy you have in the laser PC.
And I don't want to, like I say, I wanted to mention that, I'm glad you did. That's much more complex. I mean, you can do a lot more with that program than you can with this extension. But I wanted to show you the extension feature of this. Okay? So you go into extensions. Now, there's a whole large selection of extensions that you can have. The one we're actually going to use is under render, and it's under gear. All right. Now you go up here, and I said this was a, what did I say? 11.8. Does anybody remember what I said?
Yeah, that was on me.
11.8, and we'll use 72 teeth. Okay. And there it is.